Usually I don't post. Usually I don't post, but I want the world to know. Time to pull the drop tops out. Summer nights, it's a vibe, yeah. We've been keeping it in the house. Netflix and chillin', I GDM'in', yeah. Didn't wanna share my love till I found someone I'm sure of. Young and untamed, I've been out of range, keeping it low, but I wanna be bold with it. Don't care who we told about it. Wow, baby, got a hold on it. Let love unfold tonight. They'll be calling us gold. No lies, so bear with it. Let him stare at it. Now I'm prepared. Oh, instead of love out loud, since we ain't going nowhere. So tonight, baby, meet me. Timing's right, so right. Our romance to be can't deny. Love the things we do when it's just us two, but tonight, baby, meet me outside. Usually I don't post. Usually I don't post, but I want the world to know. I'm a good catch, but I never let him catch me. No, I never let him claim me. Wild thing try to tame me, but you got my mood on sunshine. Let's take a trip, souls on big smile. Let's hit this lake, stars are in line. I'm posted, lay with me in the moonlight. I wanna be bold with it. Don't care who we told about it. Wow, baby, got a hold on it. Let love unfold tonight. They'll be calling us gold. No lies, so bear with it. We can let them stare at it. Now I'm prepared. Oh, instead of love out loud, since we ain't going nowhere. So tonight, baby, meet me. Timing's right, so right. Our romance to be can't deny.
Now who's carry on? Put your with the captain turn up the passenger seatbelt down. Call me. Those over here, man. Isolate them shit to the flight and fall out. You may now use the cellular function on your smartphone electronic devices, so please remain seated and leave your carry-on stuff. We certainly have enjoyed sharing part of our day with you. We know you have a choice when you fly, and we thank you so much for choosing Southwest Airlines. Welcome to Baltimore.
Hey y'all, excuse my voice and excuse the view. I have y'all kind of like propped up on a pillow in my living room on the couch by the window. I didn't feel like going to get my stand or whatever. It's Sunday and I think it's the 28th. Yeah, Sunday, September 28th. And I'm home. We got home last night, I think like around maybe 8:30. We did drive to the airport. We left from BWI, so that's where I parked my truck at. So of course from there to where I live, it's about an hour drive. And I had to drop my daughter off last night because she had rode out there with us when we left. Stopped past McDonald's because I was starving. I just needed something quick. And I wasn't fitting to come in his house and make anything to eat. Grab me like a Big Mac meal, Coke, fries. And I got myself an ice cream, which I didn't even eat. But I came in, didn't even unpack. I'm about to unpack and pull my dirty clothes out and get that stuff washed up in a moment here. But I just wanted to jump back on here because I think the last time I did any kind of vlogging, I don't remember. I think it might have been Thursday night or Thursday during the day. But I just didn't feel like vlogging no more. I know probably when y'all see the videos, most of the footage is probably going to be of me eating or getting something to drink or something because, I mean, overall, I had a pretty good time on the cruise. Me and my daughter, we really hung out for the majority of the cruise. And basically, our days really just consisted, other than the day where we didn't get to do an excursion. So let me kind of back it up and take y'all kind of like through the days. I ain't going to make it long, I promise. So we flew out Sunday, the 21st. We flew out to Long Beach, California. We stayed at a hotel there overnight. which that one was I think that was the Hilton we stayed at the first night. My daughter had stayed at that hotel before, so she suggested it. Take two. My daughter had stayed at that hotel before, so she suggested that one. It was like attached to like a Asian. I'm gonna say Asian because all of the stores in there were Asian, like an Asian mall, which I had never seen before. And we ended up checking in, went and walked through the mall. We ended up getting some ramen. We got some chicken from a chicken place in there, which was really good. And basically after that, I think for the most part, we called it a night. The next morning, which was Monday, well, not really even the next morning because we didn't have to, the cruise didn't set sail until 4, but our check-in time, I think, was between 12 and 12:30 is what my daughter had set it up for. So we ended up leaving the hotel, got an Uber over to the port, and Uber driver was really nice. Got checked in. The check-in process actually went way smoother and quicker than what I thought. So, we got through, I guess that's TSA, and it was like so many different checkpoints where we had to show our passport or you have to show your ID, which I've been on a cruise before, only once before, and that was when I was in high school. So to me, it really don't count because that was however many years ago. Hubby has never been on a cruise before, so that was actually his first time. So after we got through all of that, we ended up getting to the desk where we can put cash on our card instead, because they don't accept any cash at all for anything on the ship. I don't think they even take your credit card. Like if you're at a bar or at a store and you want to buy something, you have to add the money or the cash to your room. And again, I apologize, y'all. I know I sound rough, but that's another thing I'm going to get to. I started getting sick like Friday. I started having a sore throat, congestion, a whole lot of like mucus was coming out. TMI, but anywho. So we ended up getting to the cash line where you could add cash to your card or cash to your room. And that's how you pay for stuff. My daughter did end up getting a drink package for me and her. Hubby ended up getting a drink package, I think, once we got on the cruise or later that day. But I didn't plan on getting a drink package. I was okay with having the, what do you call it? I think it's called like the bubbly package, where basically you get everything except alcoholic beverages. Because I kind of felt like I'm not going to be drinking like every 5 minutes, like all day long. And with those drink packages, they limit each person. You can only get 15 drinks a day, which to me is plenty. But you can only get 15 drinks a day. And I think you can only order like every 15 minutes. So they put like a time restriction on that. But she ended up getting that as like an added on birthday gift from me. And she says that whenever she cruises, just so she don't have to worry about anything, she normally gets that anyway. So she got that. And we utilized it. We didn't utilize it to the max, but we utilized it. And like I say, that package, you get everything. It's not just the alcohol. It's the alcohol. It's the specialty coffees. Because you can get free coffee in there. Like if you go to the buffet or, somewhere like that. The little stands they have with like the juice and the water. That's free for everybody. But they also had a specialty coffee place in there where they sold like cupcakes and donuts and cappuccinos and macchiatos and Americanos and all that kind of stuff. So if you didn't have the package that included that, you would have to pay for that out of pocket, which would come off your cash card. And those drinks ranged, I think, anywhere from like maybe $9 and up, depending on what you got, what you added in. So we did hit the coffee shop up a few times. And they also had some awesome cheesecake in that shop, in that coffee shop. That cheesecake was so freaking good. Actually, on our last day, before we were waiting till you get off the ship, we had went down and got us a coffee. And of course, they didn't have any cheesecake. And the guy there on the last day at the counter, he was like, I don't know. He was nice, but not really too, engaging as like the other people were. Because we were asking him, hey, do you have any more cheesecake in the back? Do you plan on bringing it out? Because the area in the case where it's set, it was just empty and open. There was nothing there like even replacing it. So he just was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not for sure. You can check back later. And I'm just like, later, we'll be off the ship later. So anywho, we didn't get the cheesecake before we left, but I think it was day 2. It was either day 1 or no, it might have been day 2. that we got the cheesecake. But anywho, I'm jumping ahead. I keep going back and forth. My bad, y'all. Forgive me. So we got on the ship, put the money on our card. Boarding went pretty smooth. Our rooms were ready basically by the time we got on there. So we were able to literally just go straight to our room. Our bags that we checked for them to bring to the room weren't there when we got to the room. But we were able to, get in the room, walk around, peek at it, see what it was looking like. And then we ended up leaving out to just walk around the ship, see what we could see what was going on. And I would say maybe within like 30 minutes of us leaving the room, my daughter got a notification, or either she went back up to the room for something. I can't remember, but she ended up letting me know that my bag was in the room. She was still waiting on hers, and hubby's bag wasn't in the room yet. So I think we pretty much that day, the first thing we did on the first day, the first place we ate, because I think they said that restaurant was only open on embarkment day. It was only open on embarkment day until like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. But it was the barbecue place that sold the barbecue chicken, the pulled pork, the pulled beef, and the mac and cheese, the collard greens, potato salad. It was a really popular place on the boat. So that is the very first food we ate when we got on there, and it was really, really good. By the time we got it and got to the table, it was cold. So the mac and cheese wasn't like steaming hot like I would prefer it, but the greens were pretty good and the meat was really good. We all, I think, went back up there twice. What else? After we ate that, I think we walked around a little bit more. We ended up going back to the room. And I don't think we really did too much of anything on the first day, because the first day was actually my birthday. So when it came to dinner, we did go to dinner that night. That's where we tried the steakhouse. Fahrenheit, I think it's Fahrenheit 55, but that wasn't included in our package. We had to pay extra for that, which we already paid for before we even got on the ship. And because they gave some kind of a discount if you booked a reservation and prepaid on the first day of the cruise, I think they gave like 20% off. So for each of us, it came to like $40-something a person, which wasn't bad. I think normally the price is like $70 or $80 a person, $60 or $70 a person, something like that. But anyway, we got a discount, and we went there. We got dressed up, went down there for my birthday, had dinner in there. They sang happy birthday, and it was a really nice evening. The food was really good. I didn't eat all of my steak. I ended up actually taking it back to the room with me. We didn't have a microwave in the room, but I had planned on nibbling on it, later on, but ended up being wasted because I didn't even do that. I ended up throwing it away the next morning. We did have a refrigerator in the room, but I wasn't going to put it in there because I know that I had nowhere to like reheat it. So if I didn't eat it that night, I knew it was going to go in the trash, but I didn't want to leave it in the restaurant. I just didn't. The dessert we had at the steakhouse was the cheesecake. And I don't know if I just mentioned it, but they did end up coming out and singing happy birthday to me. It was quite a few people in the restaurant who had birthdays the same day as mine. It was Virgo season big that night. But it was maybe at least, I would say maybe 3 other people other than me that were in there and having a birthday. So they all had happy birthday sung to them as well. And I mean, the night overall, it was pretty good. I don't remember what time we ended up calling it a night. Probably was like around 12 or so. And I would say by day 2 on the 23rd, which was Tuesday, we did a little bit more exploring. I think day 2, we ended up porting at Catalina Island, which we weren't going to get off the ship because we're looking at the excursions they had. It was nothing that we really wanted to do. So we were honestly going to be just comfortable, just making it a day, just, spending time on the ship. But we did end up getting off. Hubby ended up meeting some people. I'm telling you, he can meet somebody anywhere and it'd be like they've known each other for years. So he ended up meeting some people, and we did end up not doing an excursion, but they had the ferries that would take you from the cruise ship over to the island. And I think they rotated like every 15 minutes or something. So we did end up catching a ferry over to the island, and we just did like a really quick walkthrough because it was really nothing over there but like bars, and they had shops and like a little beachy area if you wanted to do that, and that kind of stuff. But Me and my daughter weren't really interested in doing that. I mean, if we wanted drinks, we could just get back on the ship and get drinks. I mean, we paid the money, so it's like, why am I paying money out here? We just walked around a little bit. Went back to the ferry, went back to the cruise ship. And I think for the rest of the day, I can't remember if we ended up at a pool. My days just ran together. I know at some point we ended up going to comedy clubs. I ended up going to one of the comedy shows by myself because that was one of the nights where my daughter was asleep. I don't know what my husband was doing. I can't even remember. But I was like, I'm not trying to go in a room and sit. I want to do something because I do have a little bit of energy. And I don't know if it was one of those times where every time I eat, I get super extra sleepy. And if I go to sleep, especially if it's like 7, 8 o'clock, my day is done. I'm not going to get up. So I was like, I got to do something. And I ended up pulling up the Carnival Hub app, which showed you everything they had planned from morning to the very last thing at night. They always had something going. So that's one thing that I did like about the cruise. You can find something to do unless you just want to walk around and eat and drink. There's always something to do. So I ended up coming across this comedy show, and I didn't know, it was like 2 comedy shows they kind of had back to back, but with the same comedians. And I didn't know until I got in there and they started talking that the first comedy show was like PG-13, I guess you could say. So they allowed kids under 18 in there. And I mean, it was still a good show, but right after that show, then they let you know the next show that's coming up is going to be adults and it's going to be more raunchy. So if you're into that and you know that's your scene, come on back. So ended up going back to that show by myself too. But then the next night, I was telling my daughter, about, the hub, and I see they have like a comedy show and they have bingo and the deal and no deal and, all of this stuff. So we kind of looked at it together and we went to a few of those things too. We went to the deal or no deal game that they had. That was fun. And they had it to where you can interact. You could like download or either buy the deal or no deal cards and you can win that way. But they were like pulling people up out of the audience. And they played 2 games. So they pulled 2 people up out of the audience and had them participate on stage. Excuse me, y'all. I think the first guy, he won, I want to say $300. And then the second player that got up there, she only walked away with $5. But I mean, it was fun. And then the other show we caught was when they did bingo. And it pretty much went the same way. You can buy a card. They had like different levels, different packages. So whatever package it was, me and my daughter got, I think it cost us like $29. But we ended up with, I want to say like 25 cards or something like that. And the grand prize, I think, was like $10,000. Nobody won that, of course. I think someone did end up winning towards the end. $1,100. Yeah. So they had like different levels of winners. But like the biggest winner, I think, was the $1,100. A lady that won like at the very end. But that was fun. And then I already mentioned the comedy. We planned on going to the nightclub. Never made it to the nightclub. Because by the time, what was that? I think the club opened at 11 o'clock, 11:30. By the time that rolled around, we were like good and fed and fat. Ended up back in the room. Lazed around. It was one of those nights where I did end up leaving out the room because I just wanted to see where the club was. And I just kind of walked down there and I want to say that might have been Thursday night. If it wasn't Thursday night, it was Wednesday night. I can't remember, y'all. But I walked down and they had like an area with like a bar, and then like where the club is, you had to like walk through the casino. So, and we did visit the casino a couple of times. We're not no big gamblers, but we played like a little $10 here, $20 there, and called it a day with that. But where the nightclub was, you had to walk through the casino, and it was towards the back over to the right. I want to say it was called the Red Frog Pub. But that night that I had went to see what it was about, it was basically open so you could see in there. I sat on the outside part in like the lounge chairs and just kind of people watched, a little bit. Didn't stay out there too long. But the next day when I got back to the room, the next day, me and my daughter, we had just came from getting coffee again. And I think we had went to, they have like these little like cash machines where you can go and add money to your room card. If you run out of the cash you added when you got on board. So we were over at one of those machines, and I guess it was this guy who had came out of the casino, and he was excited that he had just won $300, because all of a sudden he started talking to us and he telling us about his win, and then he started saying something about how the night before, which was the night that I was downstairs at the club, and it must have happened once I left and walked away, because like I said, I didn't go inside the club, so I never saw like any commotion or anything. It just looked like people dancing, having a good time, coming in and out. You know, the music was playing. It just looked like regular vibes. But he said apparently that night, security or something was called because a fight broke out. I'm just like, a fight broke out? Like, how are you fighting and you on vacation? And I hope y'all can see me, because like I said, I have this thing propped up on this pillow on the back of my couch. But yeah, he said people started fighting. And I'm like, well, was it men or women? And he was like, he wasn't 100% for sure because somebody had told him about it. But he said he think it was men. But I'm just like, how you angry and you on vacation? Like, I don't know. And before I went on that cruise, I was hearing a lot about Carnival cruises, how that's one of the reasons why they changed all of their policies and they made all of these, you know, things you used to be able to do that you can't do anymore, and they've gotten more strict. And I heard that was because of one of the reasons. It's like people want to get on there and they want to act stupid. They consider Carnival cruises the cheap or the fucking, I'ma just say it because I'm sure y'all have heard it before. They call it the black people cruise. And it's really sad they put a stigma on that because they consider black and they associate it with cheap. I don't understand that. But on the other end, it's kind of like it was a lot of us on there. I didn't see anything go on. I didn't see like any arguments or anything until he said what he said about the club. But I'm just like, it's always somebody that ruins it for the majority. And it's really, really sad. But overall, I said I didn't want to wrap y'all up too much. But overall, I had a good time. Will I do another cruise anytime soon? Probably not. I still feel like I prefer to just catch a flight, go to a resort on the island somewhere, preferably all inclusive, and have that be my vacation. I kind of feel like being on the ship, unless you're on a ship where you do the ports and they let you get off, you know. Even to me, doing that, if you get off and do an excursion or you go onto an island or, you know, you leave the ship, I'm still not 100% relaxed when I'm out and about, because we did end up when we got to Mexico, we planned on actually doing an excursion in Mexico, but all the excursions got sold out. So my daughter was like, well, we can just take the shuttle bus, and they had like the city tours you can book last minute, or they'll take you to like a little area where they have like the shops and the restaurants, and you can just stay in that area, and that's where the buses come back to. So basically, we paid for that. It was like $4 round trip ticket. So we got on the bus. We went to the little area where we grabbed something to eat. They had some of the best freaking corn. My daughter even tried the corn, and she was like, I don't even like corn, but this is good. So we had got some nachos. We had got some corn. I think I got a pina colada, or I know she got a margarita. I did end up getting a margarita because after we left that area where like the little shops and stuff were, there was an area they told us, you know what, if you decide to walk, stay in this area. This is the area with the shops. Don't go outside of this. So we walked around a little bit, but it's just kind of like, and I get it because, you know, they're trying to, you know, get some money. They're trying to grab up as many, you know, people as they can to get them to come to their business. But after a while of having to keep saying no gracias, because when we were on the bus going over to the spot, there was a few things, you know, that the tour guide, he was giving us, you know, do's and don'ts on. If someone asks you this, just be sure to say this. Don't just walk past and not acknowledge them, not say anything. Or if someone keeps doing this, then say this. So basically, he was like, you're going to get a lot of people to come up to you. They're going to be trying to get you to buy stuff. If you don't want to buy anything, or, you know, don't feel pressured to go into their business, if they try to pull you off, like on the side somewhere, don't feel pressured to do that. Stay within, you know, the mix or within the group or whatever. And he was like, if you don't want to buy anything, just say no gracias. Just say no gracias with a smile, no gracias. So I don't know how many times we said no gracias. But it was like they just, as soon as one left, or sometimes you would get more than one coming up to you at a time. And it's just like, no gracias, no gracias, no gracias. And there was one spot we did stop at where we just got some drinks. That's where, because I guess basically all they had was margaritas. And I'm not a fan of tequila. Now, I've drinking tequila before, like in tequila sunrises, but I'm not a fan of tequila. Tequila don't sit real well with me. If I have tequila, I do stupid stuff. But I did end up getting a margarita. Started feeling it a little bit, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. And pretty much after we had our margarita, we sat there and then we just went on and we walked back to where the shuttle buses pick you up at. And yeah, so that was, I guess you could say, our excursion at in Mexico, in Ensenada. Where was I before I was talking about that? So yeah, the guy at the casino, he was telling us about the fight, and I'm just not understanding, you know. You go on vacation, you're supposed to be having a good time. You're supposed to relax. But when it comes to the cruise ships, they're okay. I definitely, after going on this one, because ours was, I think, a 4-day. I think anything between 3 and 4 days is plenty. They have cruises where you can do 7 days or I think longer. I would not take a 7-day cruise because I kind of feel like after the first couple of days, once you kind of walk around the ship and you start seeing the same stuff and it's the same thing, and whether you stay on the ship or get off the ship, I'm pretty much done. And then when it comes to, for me, when it comes to getting off the ship, I keep feeling like I'm down real low. Hold on, y'all. Okay. And then I feel like when it comes to getting off the ship, I'm not 100% relaxed because I always have in the back of my mind and I'm stressing about, I got to get back to the ship on time. I got to get back to the ship on time. I ain't trying to miss the ship. I ain't trying to make Mexico my new home. So it was like, that's always there. But I feel like if you take a flight and you're on a resort, you're at your resort. Now, if you choose to go off your resort, you go off your resort. But it's not necessarily a crunch time. Like they drop you at 1 and you have to be back at this spot by 4 or you're going to get left. Like, I don't know. To me, going to a resort, taking a plane flight to a resort, preferably all inclusive, where I don't have to worry about any drink, any food or anything. That's the way to go for me. That's how I prefer to vacation. But I had a really good time overall. And then besides me starting to feel sick. So y'all, and I'm about to wrap this up because I've probably been talking at least 30 minutes or so now. But so everything was fine. And you know how I told y'all before the trip, my friend Flo came into town to visit me. She actually left town on my birthday. So I was able to, you know, do the pool and enjoy myself in that way, which I didn't think I would be able to do, but that worked out. But then as far as sick, I started feeling, I want to kind of say it was Thursday night. I started having like a little itchy throat and it felt like my throat was trying to get sore. And this was around the time that I was getting ready to go to bed. Now the next morning, Friday, I woke up, I didn't have the sore throat anymore, but I noticed I was having the, like the mucus. And when I would blow my nose, and that it wasn't a stuffy nose, it wasn't a runny nose, but I can't even explain it, but I could feel like the drainage. And I know before I even got on the cruise, I had popped some Sudafed, you know, on the flight or before the flight, because I started having the headaches and the sinus pressure and all of that. So I did take Sudafed and I took Tylenol with me. But I didn't take like any cold medicine or anything like that because I wasn't planning on getting sick. Started feeling the drainage. And then when I would go to like blow my nose, like it wasn't clear that was coming out. And it was at one point during Friday, I was in the room, but like I could feel it like building up and I had actually sneezed. And when I sneezed, and this may be TMI, but when I sneezed, like so much mucus came out my nose, came out my mouth. And it was green and it had blood in it. And I was like, yeah, this is not good. So I went on and blew my nose, cleared myself out, got all of that taken care of. But then by Friday night, I ended up with the bad sore throat. And I was pretty much up all of Friday night. I got a little bit of sleep, but for the most part, my throat was so sore and so bad. By the time we got to the hotel Friday, then I started with the stuffy nose and the sneezing and all of that, which today is Sunday and it has eased up a little now, but it's still like my throat has this little tickle in it. So yeah, hold on one second, y'all. So yeah, y'all, my bad. I thought somebody was making a delivery, and I'm like, I didn't order anything. So, but they just pulled in front of my driveway, and they had walked it. It's always in my driveway, and they had walked it to the house down that way. But anywho, I don't remember what I was saying, y'all, but basically overall, I had a decent time. Really enjoyed my daughter's company. We had a really good time. And other than me getting sick at the end and then still feeling it now, so this morning, I don't have a sore throat. It's a little something here, but it's nowhere near what it was the other day. I do still have the mucus. I feel like at first I was thinking I might be getting ready to lose my voice because last night, I feel like my voice is really raspy right now. Last night it was really bad. And I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't lose my voice. But the congestion, the drainage, that's still happening. That's still strong. I did go ahead and I've already texted my boss to let her know that I'm not feeling that great. I'm going to drug myself up today. When I got home last night, I did pop some NyQuil. So I'm going to take some Dayquil today. I'm going to drug myself up today. I'm going to relax. I may go in here and get me some tea and probably some soup because I'm not too hungry, but I could eat. I do want a little something. I haven't lost my appetite or anything, so I don't feel like it's, it's COVID or nothing like that. I can still smell. It's just the drainage and it was the sore throat, but which I said is nowhere near, as bad as it was the other night. But I did text her and let her know that I wasn't going to be there tomorrow. I plan on being there Tuesday, but if I'm still not back to 100 by tomorrow, I won't be there Tuesday either. It's just going to be what it's going to be. And they'll have to do a couple of more days without me and just figure it out because ain't no point in me going up in there with all of this, whatever it is, and giving it to somebody else. And plus, I could use a couple more days off anyway. I'm in no rush to get back. I'm going to go ahead, jump up off of here for now. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to probably pour my suitcase in the living room and just sit here and look at a little bit of TV. I wasn't able to really get on YouTube like I wanted when I was on the ship because of the shoddy internet, out there. But when I got to a certain port and I could get on, I would pop in and look at, a couple of videos. Or when we were in the hotel, I would look at a couple of people's videos and try to comment and still try to show the support. But, I knew the internet would be shoddy. So that's one of the reasons why before I even left on Sunday, I scheduled a few videos of mine to go out and just post. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. And I wouldn't be a whole week without posting anything. So at least I was able to do that. And it looked like everything uploaded fine by me scheduling it out. I think it was every other day. But yeah, I'm going to jump up off of here. I'm going to start with this. Really, I only have one suitcase. I had the big suitcase and a carry-on. I'm going to pour that big suitcase in here. Go through it, pull out all of the stuff that I need to get washed up, all of the other clothes I'm going to fold away, put away, and I'll pick y'all up in a minute.
You talk to me like you have lost respect for me, acting up in front of all my friends. Oh no, I don't like your tone, I like the games you play. Don't like the games you play. I already know that you talk behind my back. I already know that you hitting on my friend. Already know that you second guess my mindset. But let me just tell you that I already know what is wrong. It's goodbye, 'cause I know what's on your mind. Deep down in your heart, made you go and cheat behind my back. Don't hear from me, no girl, I won't compromise. Don't need to analyze. I already know what is wrong. 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 analyze. I already know what is wrong. It's goodbye, cause I know what's on your mind. Deep down in your heart, made you go and cheat behind my back. Don't care for me, no girl, I won't compromise. Don't need to analyze. Just realize it, baby. Just realize it slowly. Now I really know who you are. Just realize it, baby. Then what is wrong with you? Just wanna be close to you. Don't wanna be mad on you. It don't matter what you do. I just wanna be with you. I'll give my all for you. Just calling my name, just want things to be the same.
Girl, I don't know why I can't stop thinking about the good times. I don't wanna think about the bad times. You in love, fucking in the nighttime. Touchdown, every time we play time. Can you see you play in my heart? Girl, you're so cool. Eyes on front, my eyes on the road. I first it felt right, but now it feels wrong. And I don't know why we keep on holding on.
I already know what is wrong. I already know what is wrong. I already know what is wrong. Usually I don't post.
Thanks for watching.